Hare Krishna. Welcome devotees to the Gita Daily session. Thanks for devotees who are joining regularly. So today we'll be discussing Sloka number 1041. So before we start, as usual, we take the blessings of the Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maya Sudarshan, Lakshmi Narsimhare, Gaunataya Panchatattva. Let's pray that by their blessings we shall understand the transcendental topics of Bhagavad Gita. So let's recite the prayers together. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilidham Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we'll dedicate a session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by whose mercy we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita and also able to apply it in a practical way in our day-to-day life. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we'll be covering 10.41 and also 10.42. So we'll see the verse 41. Let's recite the verse together. Yadyad vibhudimat sattvam श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तद्देवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवाम्. Repetition. यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तद्देवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवा. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. It's word to word meaning. Yet, whatever. Vibhuti, opulences, mat, having, sattvam, existence, Srimad, beautiful, urjitam, glorious, eva, certainly, va, or tattat, all those, eva, certainly, avagacha, must know, tvam, you, mama, my, teja, of the splendor, amsha, a part, sambhava, born of. So, we look at actually this 41 and 42 are the last two shlokas of the 10th chapter. So we can consider it like a conclusion of the chapter 10. Okay, so we have been discussing the chapter 10 for last few sessions. So here actually the Lord is explaining his opulence to Arjuna, the opulence of the absolute. Right? This is the name of the chapter. And Lord has been explaining the opulences. Why? Because in order to have a strong foundation for the devotion or for the bhakti, it is necessary to understand who is the Lord, what is the Lord's position, what are his opulence, etc. And moreover, Arjuna explicitly asks in this chapter to Krishna to explain his opulences. So after the initial shlokas, right, we have seen that Lord explains his position. In last chapter, last shloka we discussed Arjuna. Last shloka we saw Arjuna's conclusion about the Lord's position. Right, Arjuna says Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. So Arjuna comes to the conclusion based on the Lord's explanation, and also based on the scriptures, and also based on the previous acharyas. Right. So he has quoted like Devarshi Narada, Siddha, Devala, Vyasa. So based on all the authority, Arjuna comes to the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now after that, so we will see the next sloka also quickly. I'll read next sloka, 10.42. So it says, Adava Bahunaitena Kim Nadena Tava Arjuna Vistabhyam Idam Krishnam Ekam Shena Siddho Jagat. So what it means, Krishna says, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So this sloka we have seen earlier in other contexts. So these two slokas concludes. So Krishna concludes the chapter of his opulence, saying that all that wonderful things that we see in this material creation or in the spiritual creation, right? Everything actually has a source from the Lord, Supreme Lord. So they are all actually, a portion of his, a reflection of his capabilities. Because the Lord has all these opulences and majesty, the jivas sometimes also exhibit these opulences or grandeur to some small extent. But compared to the Lord's thing, Lord's opulences and powers, it is very less. But still, people wonder. Sometimes some people achieve great feats in the material world, and people they appreciate them. But we need to understand that everything is coming from Lord. So that is what Lord says. And in the last sloka, Krishna says, no, what detailed knowledge? Why do we, what is the need of any detailed knowledge? No, just understand that the entire material creation is pervaded by my small fragmental portion. So this the Lord is referring to the Paramatma. So we have seen the Lord's expansion, right? The various expansions of the Lord, and we have multiple times we have seen how Mahavishnu is a partial expansion of the Lord, and Mahavishnu from Mahavishnu the universes comes, right? And then the Lord enters as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and another expansion of the Lord, which is the Paramatma, or is also known as the Shirodaksha Vishnu. Shirodaksha Vishnu or Paramatma enters every jiva, and it is situated in the heart of the jiva. Ishvara Sarva Bhudanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati, right? So this way the Lord accompanies every jiva, in his journey. And not only it is mentioned not only in jiva, it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita Andandarasta Paramanu Chayandarastam. So means even in the Paramanu, the atom, right? The Lord actually, as Paramatma is entering. So the Paramatma enters to everything in this creation, and by that power of the Paramatma, everything is sustained. So it is mentioned also that the jiva, right, in this body of the jiva, right, in this body that we possess, there are two souls actually. One is the jivatma, which is what we are, and the Paramatma. So they are compared to two birds sitting on a tree. That example we have seen, in Shweta Upanishad. So Paramatma is always observing and sanctioning the jivas. This thing. So this way the Paramatma is there in the jiva, in our body, residing in the heart. So the Paramatma, only by the sanction of Paramatma, the jiva can do anything. So the jiva actually is powerless. But because of Paramatma's presence, the body actually is sustained and lived. And as soon as the the life ends, now the jiva leaves and the Paramatma also leaves. As soon as the Paramatma withdraws the power from the body, then the jiva doesn't have anything. He cannot do anything. So this way the Lord actually is pervaded everywhere. So before we proceed, let us quickly look. Actually, there is no time to read everything, but I would give a exercise or a homework to all devotees that please after the session, go to the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and read actually the shlokas starting from 18 onwards to 41 to the end. Okay, so in 18, no, in the few slokas before 18, like the Lord actually, Arjuna asked Krishna to reveal his opulences in detail. But Krishna says that, Arjuna says, "Oh Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satisfied by hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words." So then Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvaja, Handate Kadayishyami, Divya hi Atma Vibhudaya, Pradhaniyada Kurukshreshtha, Nasti Anto Vistarayami. So Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead says, yes, I will tell you my splendorous manifestation, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. So the Lord actually says there is no end or beginning to his opulences. It's unlimited. Then after that, from 20 onwards, the Lord explains, or gives a glimpse of his opulences. So what is the essence of this description is that Krishna actually takes all the majestic things or the best among all the different categories of things, and he says that that is actually because of me. So that is essence. So maybe few slokas we can quickly look, but then we don't have time to go through everything. So please, I request everybody to go through these slokas later. So Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhudasya Sthita Aham Adishcha Madhyam Cha Bhudanam Anta. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Okay, then I like that. The Lord continues, like He says, I am the sun among the luminaries, right? Like that. Then He says, Vedanam Sama Vedosmi, Devanam Asmi Vasava, Indriyanam Manaschasmi, Bhudanam Asmi Chetana. Of the Vedas, I am the Sama Veda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, the consciousness. So this way the Lord actually selects. Then he says, Rudranam Shankaraschasmi, Vittesho Yaksharakshasam, Vasunam Pavagaschasmi, Meru Shigiranam Aham. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of the wealth Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am the fire Agni. And the mountains, I am the Meru. So this way Lord continues. No? Of priests, O Arjuna, know me, the chief of Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Of the great sages, I am the Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names. And immovable things, I am the Himalaya. So here, this is important for us. So Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi. All the Yagyas, I am the Japa Yajna of the chanting of the holy name. The Lord actually directly reveals this. Like that, the opulences continues. The Lord explains in very detail what are the different opulences. So I would suggest please go through them. And after explaining all his opulences, in the end, actually, this sloka which we are discussing today comes. So he concludes saying that just understand that all excellences come from me, all the splendor and the beauty, all majesty, beauty, power, etc. What we see in great is due to the spark of the splendor of the Lord. So everything, nothing is independent of the Lord. We have seen that. No, Krishna says, "Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartade." So everything comes from the Lord. Lord is the source of everything, and even energy and everything that is beautiful and wonderful. Right? It's all just a reflection of the Lord's unlimited potency. So that is the essence of today's sloka. So also we need to understand that like sometimes people, because many people nowadays they don't have the proper knowledge, right? And sometimes people are confused when even if they know some scriptures, so they don't know what is the root of everything, right? So they think that demigods are independent. So this sloka actually is also giving us information that the power of demigods also comes from the Lord, right? They don't have independent power, right, to execute anything. So they are just, we have seen that it is a universal government, right? Demigods are the administrators of the universal government. So there are different posts like Brahma, no, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Surya, Agni. They are all just posts, and their lifespan is one manvantara. Right, after one manvantara, their posts change, and there are 14 manus in one day of Brahma. Right, and the Brahma. So basically, their lifespan is much smaller, and all these positions are the posts which are given to them. Right, and when the time comes to end, then they change the post. So that way we need to understand that even the demigods are great actually, right? The Surya, how the sun is providing light to the entire universe, right? How Indra actually is controlling the rains, and the moon actually is providing vegetation. So these things are mentioned in various scriptures. But then their power is not independent. So we have seen the Indra, the pastime of Indra in Vrindavan, right? So Indra tried to destroy Vrindavan, the Lord actually shows a glimpse of his power, right? He actually prevents the Vrindavan being destroyed by lifting the Govardhan hill with a little finger. So that way we need to understand, right? That actually, that the power, when the Lord withdraws the power, then the demigods also doesn't have power. So it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita that actually generally we consider Lord Ganesha, right, as the destroyer of obstacles, right? Vinash. And Ganesha is considered as the destroyer of all obstacles. But where does Ganesha gets the power, right? So it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita that actually the Vignesh or Ganesh, he gets the power from Lord Narasimhadev. So Shloka. Yeah, so basically, if Brahma Samhita 5th chapter, Shloka number 50 says, Yat Pada Pallavam Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha, Dvande Pranama Samaye Ganadiraja, Vignan Vigantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya, Govindamadi Purusham Tamagam Bhajami. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from the elephant head in order to obtain the power for his function of destroying all the obstacles of the path of progress of these three worlds. So this way the Lord is explaining, no? And then also in the opulences, Lord mentioned, of all the Senanis, I am Skanda or Subramanya, right? We worship Subramanya or Skanda. So he actually is, so that basically Lord says that of all the great majesties, the power actually they get it from the Lord. So that is the understanding, actually, which is explained in this. So we see in the material world, we people admire the beauty, right? They appreciate, somebody is very beautiful, they get become attracted to that. Somebody is very powerful, they try to become a fan, right? So this fan following is very common, right, in various ways. So we see people follow somebody, right? So because they are uh, they are actually like admiring their powers for potency, etc. But we need to, when we become devotees or we understand the big picture, we should understand that everything comes from the Lord, right? And because of various reasons, sometimes the Lord empowers some people, right, in the material world to perform some great tasks, right? So that everything is Lord's plan. So for example, in Kurukshetra war, right, so the Lord actually wants to give the credit to Pandavas, his devotees. So otherwise, the Lord could have destroyed everything. No, so he could have destroyed the Kauravas by himself, right? Just by thinking, or no, just by his will, he could have destroyed. And when Draupadi was insulted, sometimes the people ask the question why immediately no action was taken. And so we cannot fully understand the Lord's plan, but nevertheless, the Lord has a plan, right? And so the Lord, the two things are explained in this context. The Lord, one is that the Lord want to collect all the adharmic kings and then destroy everybody together, right? And so in Duryodhana's party, all the adharmic kings joined, right? And then they all bought, so many Akshaunis or crores of people were killed. So the Lord had a plan. He brought all of them together. Like similarly in Jarasandha's pastime, Jarasandha attacked Mathura 18 times. So each time he spared Jarasandha. He did not kill him. Right? So that he wanted Jarasandha again to bring all the Asuri kings. So every time he collected all the Asuri kings and again he came and attacked. So this way 18 times. So and then in the Kurukshetra war, it is also mentioned that the Lord wants to give the credit, of destroying the, or he want to glorify the Pandavas, so that Kurukshetra war was created, and the Lord invested the potency in the Pandavas, right? And by the potency of Krishna, the Pandavas were able to destroy. They were able to pass through so many great obstacles, and they were able to destroy it. So there are two things which are mentioned actually in the end of Kurukshetra war. So one is that when the war was over, Krishna will ask Arjuna to first get down of the chariot, right? So and then Arjuna will get down, and after that the Lord will get down. As soon as the Lord gets down, immediately his chariot will get, it burst into flames and completely destroyed. So what is Acharya says that the Lord was protecting the chariot of Arjuna. Actually, it was destroyed already by so many celestial weapons used by the other party. So it was completely destroyed. But just because of the Lord's potency and the power, it was protected. But the moment Krishna got out of the chariot, it actually get destroyed completely. So this way, actually the potency is coming from the Lord, right? So sometimes we don't know, but the Lord actually is behind everything. We need to understand all the vibhutis, all the great opulences come from the Lord. So Prabhupada actually says any extraordinary power or beauty should be understood as coming from the Lord. So we will see one no little more detail, one incidence from the scripture about actually this particular topic. So towards the end of no the Lord's pastime, right? So after the Kurukshetra war, the Lord actually decided to wind up his pastimes. Krishna decided to wind up his pastimes. So as part of that, he annihilates his own Yadava dynasty. So that one pastime is there. It's called Maushala Leela, where he actually all the Yadavas, Yadus, they fight each other and then they kill each other. And after that, then the Lord wants to return. Actually, the Lord departs, and then the Pandavas sends Arjuna to actually bring all the queens of the Lord to from Dwarka to Hastinapura. So Arjuna, we know, right? He is a great warrior, and during the Agyadavas, he single-handedly destroyed the Kaurava army. So there's a past time when Arjuna became Brahmanala, right? He was discussed as a eunuch, and during that time, they attacked. Kauravas attacked the kingdom where Arjuna was staying. So Arjuna, in the disguise, so single-handedly he could destroy all the great Maharajas. So Arjuna is so powerful, right? And his weapons are celestial, and he was there is nobody who to equal Arjuna, right? So single-handedly destroyed this Kaurava army. So but then what happens after the Lord departs, and the Lord actually withdraws the power from Arjuna also, right? Then when Arjuna was bringing the wives of the Lord, queens of the Lord, back to Hastinapura, so it is mentioned, that the principal queens were murdered, but other queens, mostly the queens who were rescued from uh, Bhaumasura, Naragasura, right? So Naragasura, so Lord rescues this many queens and take shelter. They take shelter of the Lord. So these queens, when they were bringing back, on the way, some coward men, ordinary coward tribal men, they attack actually Arjuna, and it is mentioned that Arjuna could not defeat them, right? And then he could not protect the queens in this process. And then Arjuna returns to Hastinapura, and he becomes very much um, he explains to the he becomes very morose, and he explains to Yudhishthira, his inability. So basically, this incident shows that the Pandava's success and all the power and mighty, right, were only because of the Lord's presence. Right? And in the end of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, it is mentioned actually. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. So basically, there it mentioned that wherever the Lord is there, opulences, everything is there. So this example, this is just a small example which actually illustrates, right, that the Lord is empowering the jiva in various ways. Sometimes directly, like in the case of Pandavas, because they are pure devotees, and sometimes indirectly as Paramatma, right? So this way, all we need to understand. So what is the main takeaway from this understanding? How do we apply in our day-to-day life? So when sometimes we see around us, right, people who are great, So most of the time we become envious, because we cannot become like that, so we try to put them down and things like that. So we need to understand that if somebody has great potential or power, right, it is just a spark, or of a spark or amsha of the Lord's potency. That is one way. And second thing is that some of us, sometimes we may achieve something great, right, or we may be appreciated for certain greater things. So then we need to understand that again, no, we should be humble and understand that no, this is all Lord's power. So if the Lord withdraws our ability, then we will not be able to do anything. And if the Lord wills to do something, then no, we can become an instrument in the Lord's hand, right? So this way we should be humble and understand that, don't try to take credit ourselves. No, think that I have done this, I have done that, no, I'm great. So these are all like foolish thinking. So we should be humble and understand that if at all something great achieved, it is because of the Lord's power or Lord's potency, right? So this way we can appreciate everything, right? And also be satisfied with whatever is there. Sometimes in the family we may want our children to achieve something, right? They want to, we may think that okay, they should do this course, they should become an engineer, or they should become doctor or something. So we need to understand that everything is actually already determined. We have seen that everybody has a karma, prarabdha karma. Accordingly, something will be achieved. So sometimes if they achieve something great, we should not be overjoyed. And sometimes, if some losses happen or reverses happen, we should not be too much critical, or or try to put them down. So all these things are just part of the process, right? So that way we can be more reconciled, and more acceptable to what is happening around us. Okay, so with that, I think we come to the end of today's time. If anybody wants to leave at this point, they can leave. If there are any questions, they can unmute. You can unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat. Meanwhile, we will chant Hare Krishna mantra thrice together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Yeah. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. So, like we have discussed earlier, Ekadashi is a very auspicious day where actually we can do a small spiritual activity and get many more multiplied benefits. So sometimes we wonder, no, why it is like this, because we need to just understand the Lord is merciful to devotees, especially, right? And He wants to give every chance, or He is just looking for any small endeavor from our side. So there are many opportunities, where actually we can make fast progress in spiritual life. So Ekadashi is one such, where actually the main goal is to spend more time on the spiritual topics, right? Try to read, try to chant more, try to hear, and also eats prasadam, which is offered to Lord, which is, if possible, eat non-grain prasadam, and otherwise we can have fruit, milk, etc. So this is a very auspicious opportunity. So if somebody wants to take tomorrow, then they can plan now onwards, so that they are mentally prepared. Anybody has any question? Okay, if no question, then I think we can end here. I would like to thank all devotees who join regularly, and just a reminder: if somebody has not taken the survey, please take it. So it will be helpful for us. Okay, so thanks, devotees. We will end here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.